Why, good day, you beautiful souls. I hope that you are having a wonderful start to this lovely Sunday. And a little heads up in terms of the last Satsang, YouTube had a little error, so it wasn't able to get the rest of the video. Apparently, the energy of Source was just too potent and strong. But with that being said, we're going to get into it with this Lessons of Love. Came through a few days ago, and I already feel it's going to be a potent one. So there's some new folks to the channel. So with our Sunday Satsangs, we'll start off with nice 3 taps of the singing bowl. Take a nice inhale with that first tap of the bowl as it rings. And as we exhale, we'll release a mighty and powerful Om. So get your last few wiggles out. I can't be shaking too much. I got this little lady. Let's see if you can see her spotted. Got this little lady chilling on my lap. She's super cute. But she loves her meditation. Morning drop-ins are the best. So get a little stretching if you can. And we'll begin. We'll take a nice deep breath here together, in through the nose, and out through the mouth, an open sigh. Allow your jaw to relax, and as you chant that A note for the Om, when you close the mouth, the U and the M will form naturally. Pay no attention to what arises around you. Simply witness what is unfolding, indiscriminately observing the inner and the outer experience, one and the same as that pure witness you are. Giving the body direction, to lengthen the spine, to relax the body, to breathe gently, is all it takes to utilize the tools of the form and the flesh. And with this final tap of the singing bowl, shift your attention to the sound of the bowl as it rings. And as it drops into silence, so too shift your attention to the stillness, the quiet, the calm, and as always, a gentle smile on the face. Lessons of love can be expanded into an openness, as that is the energy of love, a relaxation, a calm. But throughout the lifetimes in which my children live, those wounds of the heart force us and encourage us to close, to not be wounded, to not be hurt, to not be harmed. Yet that is the invitation that I offer each and every one of you, my children. To know that everything that has arisen in that realm of the heart has always been intended to come back to me, to return home, to the infinite source of light, of love that can never leave you. Yet we must go through these journeys in life, always, for wisdom is on the other side. Understanding is the tool in which you can use. So allow yourself to look within your lifetime now. What has arisen? Who has betrayed you? Who has hurt you? Who has left you? Who has harmed you? Where have you not put yourself out there more? When it comes down to this construct, this creation of mine, everything is love. You experience it in this manifested form, but everything is just frequency, energy, light, birthed from my spark of love and yearning. In your lifetime, as you have heard my sweet pal say, everything comes down to two ways in these paths of giving and receiving love. They're the roads of wisdom in which you can utilize for your liberation, in which you can craft and cultivate yourself to be liberated, to come home, to be the fullest of what I created you to be. But look within. The energies are simple to observe. What causes you to close off is a paradoxical tool for your encouragement to step into. For I crafted the bodies to be like a mischievous child. They say, no, don't look over here. But in truth, that is the doorway. That is the key to your freedom. The pains and wounds of the past, if you carry them into the future, they will guide you astray. They are simply meant to be indications, markers for you to not make the same mistake twice. For wisdom is my greatest gift in which I can provide my children. And through that Holy Spirit, through that energy of grace, of knowing, you can be like King Solomon. Everything stems from knowledge. So know that these paths of the heart provide a great wealth. But you must utilize them yourself. And that's how you can look at this pathway, my children. It is a tool. Everything here is a playground of lessons. Do not become so distraught that you lose your true nature, my love, my pureness. Yet we must always come to recognize that wisdom is earned. And it is gifted by those who marinate in the experiences in which I have provided. That is the beauty of this life. There are infinite lessons, for they are all geared towards the perceiver. Whatever you see, you can create. That is another gift of mine to you. And as my beings of creation, so too you can create your own path, guided by my hand. For you are always going to be supported. And when you align your ability and capabilities to create with the purpose in which I have laid out for you, a harmony so beautiful unfolds. But the question still remains. Where is your heart closing off? And where is it expanding? Is it shying away from opening again? From stepping into that in which you fear or have tension around? Or are you taking that leap of faith and trust? When you first come into this realm, your hearts are so open. There is no walls. There's nothing that blocks it from receiving the grace of life. And so you see that innocent, pure spark amongst the children, that infinite realm of wonder. Yet if you remained in that, what would arise? Know that these lessons of love are geared to bring you back to that pure witnessing, that intimate expression of living, of loving, of being. Close to my side, children always are. And closer to me than they are many adults around them. And that is the error of the ways of man. For the adults imbue the children with those limitations, those walls. Yet I am inviting you to break them down, to deconstruct them, to open up the floodgates of my heart, and to remain close by my side, consciously, lovingly. And know that it's okay. It doesn't matter what has arisen in your life, forgiveness is always there for you. Support is always there for you. All of my children are close to my heart. They simply need to ask and come home. Spending time with me, that aspect of obedience, following the ways in which cultivate a deeper connection and intimacy with me in my heart. Like any lover, like any friend, like any loved one. I seek a deeper relationship, for all in which you experience in this lifetime are but specks, minor reflections to the infinite well and ocean of love that I have for each of you. And that is the paradox that we enter. As we're intended to return to those states of being a child, yet the energies that hold us back are from pain. But what happens when you love that pain? What arises within your experience when you fully lean into that resistance? When you forgive not only others but yourself? Is it not the most loving thing for yourself to liberate and heal and remove those shackles of the past? And that is the invitation. That is always the invitation, and at every breath it can be obtained. These lessons of the heart, lessons of love, they will unleash your soul to be its brightest, its fullest, its most powerful expression. So what's stopping you? Where could you be leaning into your own love and support for yourself? How is it showing up in the way you love others? How does it show up in the way you love my creation of life? Is each day lived, is each moment breathed through that excitement as when you were a child? And if not, why? Mm. When it comes down to this simple truth, all is grace. It is spoken so that it may be truly and fully heard, to let go of the pain, of the weights, of the wounds, and know that without them, these opportunities to grow in love and harmony with me would never arise. For as a child, you are ignorant of the ways of flesh. And on one side, we see the many good things that come from being in youth, that innocence, the pureness. But can you fully appreciate my love without knowing my pain? Would you fully want to come home if you didn't know the coldness and the isolation of being so far away from it? Would that conviction still be there to dwell by my side and to rest within my own heart? No, my children, no. From pain can be birthed beauty. From your wounds, wisdom. And from your suffering, strength. All arises for a reason because you are here to transmute it. As my creations of creation. You have the greatest alchemical tools. You have the greatest abilities because I gifted them to you. To dwell and remain in your suffering is a choice. To transmute it into a power, a superpower, as you say here, is but one question away. And it always comes back to this essence of curiosity. I would say that is the greatest gift in which you've had from your childhood. So what arises when you look within and question? Allowing your heart those lessons of love to guide you. For the life in which I have created for you, my children, is very straightforward and simple. You all are understanding of this as you watch shows, films, plays. The human expression is always rhyming these divine teachings of my cinematic playground. But what arises when you look within in such an inquisitive light and shine that light into the darkness of your own being? And that is the beauty. For this life can go as far as you take it. Infinite potential each of you is birthed with and will always have. But your will, your yearning, that fire, again, in which I have gifted you, is meant to be cultured, honed, refined, and built up. What if I told you you already have every experience that you've ever needed to not only liberate yourself fully, but to tap into your infinite potential? That everything here on out is but a rhyme and a repetition to bring forth those lessons of the past into the present. Yet an even more curious invitation. What is life like for you when you finally heal those wounds of the past? The keys to my kingdom reside in your heart. You lived through it as a child, and you must return to it as what you can say as an adult. But you are always my children. And it is in that being said to take the pressure off of yourself in this lifetime. No one can hold all of the answers to my wisdom and truth, for it is infinite. But each of you has a unique window, has a unique frame to experience my gracious gift of experience. And with that, shine forth, look deep within. Be the love you were created to be. So recognize where you yourself are refusing to give it and refusing to receive it. When all is breaking down, life is that simple. Simply marinate in that openness of the heart, that levity in the chest, and that brightness shining from you. And we'll take a nice deep breath together here. In through the nose and exhale however you see needed. And with the next tap of the singing bowl, we'll take a nice deep breath in, and we'll transmute that exhale and release into a mighty and powerful hum. Release the body of breath here. Namaste. My battle divine within you. Thanks for dropping in. Don't forget to smash that like. That return to being the children we were created to be. It's beautiful feeling that, I would say that just the trust that's built throughout that pathway of coming home. And it's always so silly to look back at our lives, and especially like those teenage years when we're just so independent and we just consciously close off so much of those like latent gifts and abilities and that connection. At least I know for myself. I harbored a lot of anger from all the things that were experienced in my early youth and big lessons of betrayal in my own life. So, I was a master at giving love and easiest thing to do to distract, but I would say receiving love has always been my most difficult pathway to cultivate. And it's not just like receiving help and gifts and compliments and things like that from people. It's really receiving that forgiveness from God. And I think that's like the greatest pathway to it. And I mean, you can't see it or hear it, but even getting a little emotional just speaking about it just naturally comes up because like the love and support that Creator has for us, it's unexpressible. It's inconceivable. But when it's experienced, you know that every step in this lifetime that you take, you have that full support and weight of heaven behind you. Like God truly seeks the best for each of us. And the moment you open up to receiving that, I promise you it'll change your life forever. And I guess that's the wisdom that comes through love. Is, being kind because you know the depths of anger and coldness, being loving because you've been cut off from it for so long. And I feel that's the paradox of it, because you can allow your suffering to take you into a bitterness, but you can also allow your suffering to be your greatest superpower. And I love how that was said in our ways, in that sense. Because truly everyone yearns for the same thing, being mixed, going through all different walks of life, seeing and experiencing so many different realms of poverty and riches and things of that nature. Everyone wants to be witnessed. Everyone wants to be seen, to be respected, to be valued, to be loved and cherished. And when we come within and realize that all the pains of the past are kind of like the pathways that take us back to that doorway of God. But it's really just curiosity. It's always cool, like, seeing what comes up with these songs, these little guided messages and channels, because I have no idea what's coming out. I'm just watching it real time inside, just like, cool. But curiosity, that is the name of the game. You can sit there and say, like, why me? In that, I would say, like, more self-absorbed victim pathway, or you could say, why again? Like, just the moment we, like, depersonalize it and take it out of this, like, oh, whoa, me type of story. Like, why is this happening again? What are the patterns to it? And almost like, what did we learn when we were children, right? Like the setting the scene, the who, what, when, why, where, and how. When we really push to unpack the experience itself, then it's like, bam, lessons, themes, cycles, patterns start to come up. And it's one of the things I point to my students and clients, is that the more that you can really take a step back and not perceive life through this really, like, personalized, individualized, cut off sense of self, you can start to see it as the interconnected play, that everyone has their roles, that everyone in your experience is different characters coming up. And there's going to be repeated and cyclic lessons if they haven't been learned. I really like that aspect too, of like, what happens when you've healed all the past stuff? It's possible. And I think that's something that we have to entertain in order to experience, is that you don't have to be living through pain all the time. I know people that are constantly in therapy, and they've been in therapy for years, and working with me for like 3 months, for a few weeks, a few days, they were able to just completely transcend things, because the more that we hold on to the past, the less likely we are to really open ourselves up to the future that we're intended to have, that God-given pathway of full expression. But we can't move forward if we don't unpack all the things behind us, because they really are like shackles. It's wild. Like, I don't really see it like shackles in a sense. I always see it kind of like you're wearing like a weight vest and like weights on. And the moment that you take those off, and like, you just get lighter. But I like the analogy to weight vest, because your past really does strengthen you. I find that the people who have suffered early on in their years of like experience, like really early on, like the childhood to like teenage and young adult years, if you didn't essentially get broken so bad that you went down like a bunch of pathways of like addiction that you die, like, you are a badass. So that's kind of like my words to all of you. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I didn't have any this week, but if people knew that those that go through suffering early on are meant to be like the spiritual, just like superheroes out in the world, we'd be in a lot better place. But that inner tension, what is it that you fear? What is it that scares you? And not in the sense of like phobias like bugs and reptiles and things of that nature, but the moments where you have to be witnessed. What scares you? Sometimes it's even being witnessed. Sometimes I know personally, like I'm still getting over this little bashfulness that I have with singing and performing in front of people. In front of a camera, there's no one else, it's different. But when you got a bunch of eyes of the divine staring at you in real life, it kind of just, my energy just gets really wild and wonky, but it's something I'm working on. But we have to address these things. We have to speak on them in order for us to move through them and to transmute them. And yeah, I guess I'm just curious, like, if the spring, summer specifically have been bringing up a lot of those lessons of love and lessons of the heart to the surface. And, like, what is autumn inviting you to drop? We're still in fall, and there's still time before I feel like a lot of intense humblings are coming through. So, yeah, I hope that you can utilize this message and whatever came through for you that resonated to take that leap of courage, I would say, not just faith. It's the courage that starts that journey of unpacking things. And through that, I would say that path, you develop a trust, you develop faith. And it's going to lead you to a conviction, a strength that can never leave you. Like, I promise you that. And leave no stone unturned in your questioning. Never assume that we know the answers, especially if you see things repeating again and again and again. It's all grace. It always comes back to it. And that was one of the first teachings that I learned from this pathway, is that everything is grace. We can be thankful for everything. And the moment that we open ourselves up to that thanksgiving plus indifference, gratitude, that's how we transmute it. That wound into wisdom, that suffering into strength, that pain into power. And I promise you, it'll always bring you towards God, towards source, creator, love, expansiveness. So with that, I love you. Thank you for dropping in. May the fruit of knowledge offer a seed, and in that seed may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all whom ask. Namaste. I bow to the divine within. Thank you so much for dropping in. No satsang this upcoming week. I will be out of town. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. I'll be out of town and doing a doula training. So let me check the date on that. I guess we will drop back in on, what is that? November 9th. Yeah. So with that, I'll see you in a little bit. Still got the Wednesday experiences coming up. I'm going to be jumping into themes here pretty soon with November coming through. And with that, have a great day. Have a great start to your week. I love you. Peace.